Long, long ago, on a radiant autumn day in Japan, a pink-faced monkey and a yellow crab were playing gleefully along the riverbank. As they frolicked, the crab discovered a rice dumpling nestled in the grass, while the monkey came across a persimmon seed. The crab, delighted with his find, proudly showed the dumpling to the monkey. "Look what a wonderful treasure I've found," he exclaimed. The monkey, holding up the persimmon seed, responded with feigned enthusiasm, "I too have found something splendid. Behold!" Despite the monkey's affection for persimmons, he had no use for the seed, which was as hard and unappetizing as a stone. His envy of the crab's delectable dumpling stirred his greedy nature, prompting him to propose a trade. The crab, however, saw no value in exchanging his prize for the mere seed, and refused the monkey's offer. The monkey, with his cunning ways, began to persuade the crab. "You are short-sighted," he said. "This rice dumpling may satisfy you now, but if you plant this seed, it will grow into a grand tree in a few years, bearing a bounty of sweet persimmons year after year. Imagine the delight of seeing golden fruit hanging from its branches. If you don't believe me, I'll plant the seed myself. Later, you'll regret not heeding my advice." The crab, entranced by the monkey's crafty argument, reluctantly agreed to the exchange. The monkey, savoring the dumpling greedily, relinquished the persimmon seed with reluctance, fearing the crab's sharp claws. The crab, upon returning home, planted the seed as instructed. Each spring, he watched with joy as the seedling grew into a robust tree. By autumn, it was adorned with ripe, golden persimmons, their vibrant hues glowing among the broad, green leaves. The crab delighted in observing the fruit ripen daily, imagining the delectable taste of the juicy persimmons. One day, as the fruit reached its peak ripeness, the crab yearned to taste it. However, despite numerous attempts to climb the tree, his legs adapted for scurrying across stones and dirt proved inadequate for climbing. Desperate, he remembered his old playmate, the monkey, renowned for his climbing prowess, and decided to seek his assistance. The crab journeyed up the stony riverbank and through the forest to find the monkey napping in a pine tree, curled tightly around a branch. The crab's call stirred the monkey from his dreams, and upon learning of the tree's abundant fruit, the monkey devised a devious plan to claim all the persimmons for himself. Agreeing to help, the monkey accompanied the crab to the tree. As he climbed and began picking the ripe persimmons, he stuffed himself with the sweetest fruit, leaving behind only the unripe, hard ones. The monkey devoured the persimmons greedily, ignoring the crab's pleas from below. Seeing the monkey's treachery, the crab grew distressed. He scuttled around the tree, calling out for the monkey to honor his promise. The monkey, dismissing the crab's pleas, retaliated by hurling the unripe persimmons at him. These hard fruits, like stones, caused grievous injuries. The monkey continued his assault until the crab lay motionless at the base of the tree, his body covered in wounds. The monkey, horrified by his own cruelty, fled the scene in fear, leaving the crab's lifeless body behind. The young crab, who had been playing nearby, stumbled upon his father's tragic fate. The sight of his father's battered shell and the scattered unripe persimmons filled him with sorrow and rage. Determined to avenge his father's death, the young crab examined the scene for clues. Noticing the discarded fruit and remembering the tale of the rice dumpling and the persimmon seed, he deduced that the monkey was the culprit. Realizing that a direct attack would be futile against the cunning monkey, he resolved to seek the aid of his friends and devise a clever plan to confront and punish the treacherous monkey. The young crab wasted no time and set out to seek the help of the mortar, his father's old and trusted friend. Tearfully, he recounted the tragic events and pleaded with the mortar to aid him in avenging his father's death. Moved by the young crab's sorrow and the gravity of the situation, the mortar promised his full support and warned that they must proceed with great caution, for the monkey was both strong and cunning. The mortar then summoned the bee and the chestnut, also old friends of the crab, to consult them about their plan. Soon, the bee and the chestnut arrived, and after learning the full details of the old crab's death and the monkey's treachery, they eagerly agreed to help the young crab seek revenge. After extensive discussion on how to execute their plan, The friends went their separate ways. The mortar accompanied the young crab back to his home, where they prepared to bury the deceased father with the respect and honor he deserved. Meanwhile, the monkey, oblivious to the brewing retaliation, was reveling in his perceived success. He congratulated himself on his cunning theft and murder, and though he wore a mask of satisfaction, a nagging fear of discovery lingered. He reasoned that since he had escaped unseen, the crab's family could not possibly know he was the culprit. He concluded that there was no point in staying hidden and decided to resume his activities, dismissing his fear as irrational. The monkey ventured into the crab settlement, sneaking around the crab's house to eavesdrop on the neighbors. He was eager to hear their gossip about the death of the crab chief, unaware that the young crab had deliberately pretended ignorance of the monkey's role in the tragedy. The young crab's apparent indifference was part of his strategy to conceal his plans for revenge. Satisfied that the crabs were clueless about his involvement, the monkey returned home feeling secure. One fine day, while the monkey was at home, a messenger arrived from the young crab. The monkey was curious about the visit, and the messenger delivered the message with formal bows. "I have been sent by my master to inform you of a solemn occasion. My father's death was due to a fall from a persimmon tree while attempting to climb for fruit. Today marks the 7th day, the first anniversary of his passing. In his honor, my master has arranged a small festival and invites you, as one of his closest friends, to attend and pay your respects." The monkey, relieved to hear that the crab's death was attributed to an accident, felt a deep sense of satisfaction. He feigned surprise and grief, remarking, "I am deeply saddened by the news of your chief's passing. We were indeed close friends. I recall the day we exchanged a rice dumpling for a persimmon seed. I am honored by your invitation and will gladly attend the memorial to pay tribute to my old friend." He even managed to squeeze out some false tears. The messenger, inwardly amused by the monkey's insincerity, thanked him and departed. The monkey laughed at what he perceived as the young crab's naivete and eagerly anticipated the festival. He donned his finest attire and made his way to the young crab's home. Upon arrival, the monkey was greeted by the crab family and relatives, who welcomed him with respectful bows. They led him into a grand hall, where the young chief mourner expressed condolences and thanks. The monkey was then treated to a sumptuous feast, enjoying the meal as the guest of honor. After the feast, the monkey was invited to the tea ceremony room. As he waited for the young crab to return, he grew impatient. His thirst, heightened by the sake consumed earlier, led him to the charcoal fireplace to pour some hot water. Suddenly, with a loud pop, something shot out from the ashes and struck the monkey in the neck. It was the chestnut, who had been hiding in the fireplace. Stunned, the monkey recoiled and attempted to flee. Just then, the bee, concealed outside the screens, emerged and stung the monkey sharply on the cheek. The monkey, writhing in pain, ran wildly, his neck burned and face stung. As the monkey dashed outside, the stone mortar, along with several other stones, toppled from the top of the crab's gate, crashing onto the monkey's head. The weight of the mortar left him severely injured and unable to move. The young crab approached the fallen monkey, his large claws poised menacingly. "Do you now remember murdering my father?" he asked coldly. "Then you are my enemy?" The monkey gasped, his voice weak and trembling. "Indeed," replied the young crab, "it was your father's fault, not mine." The monkey tried to defend himself. "Can you still lie?" the young crab retorted. "I will end your breath." With a decisive strike, he severed the monkey's head with his sharp claws. Thus, the wicked monkey received his just punishment, and the young crab avenged his father's death. This concludes the story of the monkey, the crab, and the persimmon seed. Moral: greed and deceit may bring temporary gain, but they lead to inevitable downfall. Acts of kindness and fairness are rewarded, while treachery and cruelty will ultimately be met with justice.